This video is a tutorial for analyzing Bartok's Mikrokosmos number 101 using the set theory functionality of ATAVizM. It's always best to start with a score, and so I've annotated this one-page score for where I thought there were recurring sets, although one of them is not recurring, this 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. Most of what you see is 0, 2, 3, 5, and that's in both the treble and the bass, or right hand and left hand of the piece. So for instance, measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, measures 1 through 5 in the right hand are 0, 2, 3, 5, also in the left hand. And we see another 0, 2, 3, 5 here and here in the right hand. A lot of it pretty much dominates the entire right hand. Doesn't a 0, 2, 3, 5 section doesn't come up again in the left hand until measure 20. So let's go ahead and get started in ATAVizM by selecting a MIDI file. So we're looking for the Micro 101 is how the file is labeled if you downloaded the ATAVizM folder, which you probably did if you have the software installed. And so we can go ahead and open that up. It's going to take a small second to load. Notice that it did a meter estimation of 3/4 notes, but we can see in the score that it's 2, just another reason why it's good to refer to the score. Then let's go to Discovery, then PC Sets. And I'm going to set a minimum cardinality, that's a minimum number of notes in an instance, to 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and run it. So it did find 0, 2, 3, 5, the one I'm looking for, as the second most highly covered, and coverage means how much space it covers in the piece. So 0, 2, 3, 5, 7 might have been another option, but 0, 2, 3, 5 is what I a priority was looking for based on my analysis. So once I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and add the group. And so there's a total of 17 instances. I want to go through these and double check them and compare them with my scores. So I'm going to go ahead and split by voice because I want to look first all at the first voice and then all at the second voice. So if I do that, I have 9 in voice 1 and 8 in voice 2. So I'm going to delete the original collection there. And then I'm going to go through these. So first of all, in voice 1, I have measures 1 through 5. Great. Then I have measures 6 through 11. Also, exactly as I have. Notice that it says D sharp here. It's E flat. It's an enharmonic spelling. But then I have a gap to measure 15 when I actually wanted something in measures 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'm going to have to add that manually. So I'll go down here, measure 12 through 15, replot, and then I've got my C sharp / D flat all the way to, in measure 15, this E flat, which is a D sharp here. And so I'm going to add that selection. And then I will merge it with my voice 1. Now we've got it here, 12 through 16. Let's see, 15 through 19. Starting with the C sharp, D flat. Good. Going all the way to the end of measure 19. No, it didn't get all that because there's a rest and I didn't allow it to include patterns with rest, so I'm just going to add that on there. So I'm going to, in this case, instead of adding selection, since I just edited an existing one, I'm going to do update. Next we have 20 through 25. Here's 20, starting on an A, great, going all the way back to an A in measure 26. So that one's exactly as I expected. Here is measure 26, 27, and pretty much what I wanted, but I also wanted the F and the B flat and G, so I'm going to go ahead and add those in there. Then update. Here's 31 through 37. So it has the D flat, E flat, and B flat, and then C, B flat, that one's perfect. Going on, 34 is right here, starting with the C and going all the way. It actually got to that B, but I also want the C in there, and so I'm going to update that. And then these are just kind of redundant subsections of that 34 through 41, so I'm going to delete those. And then I have 8, just like my blue boxes of 0, 2, 3, 5. Let's go on to the second voice. The first one's great, starting on E flat, going to E flat. Then the next one it found is indeed measure 20, and ends on an F sharp, which is a G flat in measure 25. That's great. Then we go on to 26, 27. So it's a little shorter than what I had, so I'm going to add a few notes here. And I'm going to go all the way to this C sharp at the end of measure 29. I'm going to update that. Then we have 30 through 32, A, going to the G, perfect. Then we have a duplicate of that, so we don't need that one. Then 32 through 33, exactly. 35 through 38. And then we also have 35 through 43, which is actually doesn't seem to be right, so I'm going to delete that one. So we have 35 to 43, starting on an A flat / G sharp, going all the way to G flat / F sharp. Perfect. So that's ready to go. So I'm going to go over to visualization, and I'm going to plot it. To make this a little more appealing and not have so much overlap, I'm actually going to do the voice 2 as a down arc, and then replot that, and then we can kind of see what's going on in voice 2 down here and what's going on in voice 1, where they kind of co-occur with 0, 2, 3, 5, particularly at the beginning and ending. They have nice long sections that are all 0, 2, 3, 5 in the respective voices. So now we could go and add some of these other things we found, in particular 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm going to go back to discovery and I'm going to refresh. And there indeed is 0, 1, 2, 3, 5 in measures 6 through 11. It's missing that B. I want to include that, but other than that it's perfect. It did find some kind of overlapping segments of that. There are also 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. That's to be expected with the set algorithm. So because I don't want those others, just the 6 through 11, I'm just going to add the selection to my list. And I'm going to go ahead and I should start naming these. So first we had 0, 2, 3, 5 right hand. Then we had 0, 2, 3, 5 left hand. Then we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. All right, now 0, 2, 5, we could go back to discovery and refresh. So there's some 0, 2, 5s. 12 through 15, that's actually what we were looking for. It's slightly truncated because I also want that G. So I'm going to update that. And then we don't need this redundant one. Then what is this? 16 through 17. Yes, actually 16 through 20, but yep, that's right. So we want that. We're going to delete that one. We got 16 through 20, great. And then we have 29 through 33, which is right here. That's actually just a part of what I classified as 0 through 7, and I kind of like my segmentation better than that, so I'm going to delete it. And then we've got these two, and we're going to add that group over here, and we're going to call that, I want to mislabel this now, so you may, if you have little glitches like that, just try to deal with them. This is 0, 2, 5. Okay, so then we want to add some more to 0, 2, 5 because we have this in, and it makes sense that the discovery didn't find them because that part was already kind of annotated as part of A0, 2, 3, 5, but I just want to highlight it as an overlapping thing here. So I'm going to go into voice 1, and that is measure 31, and I'm going to replot it. That's it. So I'm going to add that selection. Then next one is 32 to 33. No, I'm sorry, 33 to 34. Replot it. Yep, I'm going to add that selection. And then we're looking at the end, which is 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 to 43. Going to add that. And then finally in voice 2 in the same area, and I'm going to add that as well. Then I'm going to combine all of those with 025. Finally, I want to grab these 037s. It's not likely to find those because they're overlapping a bit with other things. So I'm just going to input them. So this will be measure 28 through 29. Replot it. And I'm going to cut it off a little bit here. I just want that B flat to G to E flat. I'm going to add that selection. Then 29 through 31. Going to trim it to what I'm looking for. That's it, the F to A flat to F to D flat. I'm going to add that selection. Then I'm going to merge those two, and I'm going to call that 037, the good old triad. So now we can plot all of these. It's going to be a little messy at first, but we're going to actually clean this up to be more the way we'd like it. So I'm going to do that by matching the colors I have over here, and actually this should be an orange. Let's see, how can I do that? So rectangle, I'm going to delete that and change that to orange. Okay, great. And so let's start 0, 2, 3, 5 and 0, both right hand and left hand are already blue. We could make this more the blue that we have on here by reducing that green down. So I think that looks pretty good. And then the left hand's light blue. I think that's fine. You could go through and change these left hands to light blue to match that if you would like, and so forth. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So let's look at 0, 1, 2, 3, 5 is green. Great. I think it could be a little deeper green. So I'm going to take out some of that red and blue. Okay. And then 0, 2, 5, I want it to be orange, and I actually want it to be blocks, I think. So I'm going to change it like that to block, and then also adjust the color. Needs to have red and green. I'm actually seem to be adjusting the wrong color. Maybe not. Let's turn down. So let's plot it. Okay. So it's still yellow, so I'm going to change that. Okay. Let's take down the green. There we go. We're starting to get orange. There we go. So that's pretty close orange. And then finally, 037. This one, I'm also going to make blocks. And let's replot that. Oh, and then reset my colors a little bit. So actually maybe you should hit plot before you start messing with the colors. Now I just zoomed out. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Okay, so this one, the 037 that I'm on, I want that red. Okay, and then 025, I would like that to be orange. So I'm going to take down the green, and there we have orange, and everything is matching our diagram pretty well there. Oh, I was going to make the a 0235 right hand a little darker blue. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. Once you're happy with a diagram, you can go ahead and label it. So I'm going to call this set analysis of Bartok Mikrokosmos number 101. And you can also give yourself some credit by adding analyst there, and then you export it. And once you've got it out here, you might want to shrink it down a little bit to make the text a little bigger, and then you can save it. And I'm going to save it to the desktop, and I recommend the TIFF, and we're going to call this Bartok. Alright, it'll take a second to export. Make sure not to close the window until you see that pop up on your desktop. We should see it in just a moment. There it is. So now I can open it, and you've got, let's wait for the full resolution. There it is. And so the TIFF image is high enough quality to send it to a large format printer, so you could actually make a poster of your analysis.